Hey guys, Dr. Giovanni Calise here. Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever engaged in a marketing campaign and you put all of this energy and all of this money into it and then you didn't get the results that you wanted? Or did you create a new branding scheme and you're all excited but no one listened? So in this video, we're going to talk about is the 5 basic steps to creating an effective marketing campaign. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already. We give you a ton of business tips to help you advance your career and your business. So what I want to do is I want to start by telling you a little story. Once upon a time, there was an entrepreneur. And this entrepreneur could actually be you. And this entrepreneur started their business and they were so excited that they just wanted to spread the word to everyone. So they went on top of the highest mountaintop and they started yelling and screaming and telling all the great things about the business to all the commoners in the villages below. But no one listened. So then the marketer came down from the mountaintop and went to the villages one by one and started talking to people and telling them all the great things about the business. And no one listened. So then the marketer tried to have a bunch of notes that they handwritten and they gave them to birds to fly around and to drop to people. Again, no one listened. So sadly, because no one listened, the entrepreneur had no customers and had to close shop. Does this story sound familiar? Hopefully you are not about to close shop, but have you ever created a marketing campaign and it just seemed like no one was listening? Why is that? Well, there are 5 basic steps in creating a successful campaign. And whether you have followed these 5 steps or not, really have a big difference. And they make a big difference in whether your campaign is successful or not. So what I want to do in this video is I'm going to share with you what are the 5 basic steps in creating a successful campaign. And then in future videos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over them one by one in greater detail. All right, so what exactly are these 5 steps? Well, the first step is what we call the define stage. And this is really the scope of your project. Why are you developing this campaign? Are you trying to get more leads? Are you trying to get more sales? Are you trying to get more awareness in your brand? Are you trying to educate your consumer? Yes, there is a difference. So in the define stage, what you're doing is you're setting put what the scope of the campaign is and why you're doing it. You're also going to talk about who your target audience is, what your target audience needs, and you're going to talk about what the budget of the campaign is. It is really important, and this is a step I actually see a lot of small businesses bypassing, unfortunately. But it's important that you define your campaign so that everyone knows what the objective is, everyone knows what the task at hand is, and everyone's on the same page. Have you guys ever been in a meeting where everyone says, oh, yeah, great meeting, great meeting. Hey, what was the meeting about? Oh, I really don't know what we talked about. Happens all the time, by the way, especially in corporate America. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that before you even spend a dime on your campaign, that everyone is on the same page. That is the scope. And remember, in a future video, we're going to go over exactly what you're doing when you define your campaign. Next, target audience. Remember, your campaign is not about you. It's about your target. It's about the segments that you're trying to grab into your business. So your campaign cannot be based on what you want or what resonates with you. Your campaign needs to be based on what resonates with your target audience. So who are they? What is their buyer persona? If you have not done the video on buyer persona, make sure you take a look at that because that will give you greater detail. It's a fantastic video. But what we need to do is we need to understand, hey, what motivates my target audience? What are their passions? What are their goals? What are their problems? What's their ideal image? What are their frequently asked questions? What do they like to do for entertainment? Who do they hang out with? By being able to understand the psyche of our target audience, that helps us resonate with them. So here's the problem. If you're yelling on the rooftop and on the mountaintop about how great your business is, but you don't do it in a way that resonates with your target, are they going to listen to you? No. So that's what we need to do in this step. Then in the third step, theme. Well, here's the concept with the theme. You have the define stage, which is what you need. You have your target buyer persona stage, which is what motivates your target audience. And now what we got to do is we got to marry them together. We got to bring them together and unite them. So with the theme stage, what we're going to do is we're going to create a engaging concept that's going to help fulfill my goal, but it's also going to grab the attention of my target audience. And what it's also going to do is it's going to create an element of consistency. It is going to create what colors are part of this campaign, what are the fonts, what is the look and feel, what is the overall concept. How are we going to create this campaign that's going to fulfill our goals, resonate with our target audience, but also be a parameter of consistency so that every single piece of content we create, it is in line with this theme. Finally, and number 4, what we're going to do is we're going to create our content. Now, here's what's important. We have our theme, but we also have a budget. So what pieces of content are in the locations that our target audience will be? What types of content can we actually afford to create? And what types of content will help us reinforce our theme in the most effective way? Maybe you're creating one piece of content. You could be a complex theme where you're creating 20 pieces of content, right? But what types of content and deliverables do we need to create? And again, we're going to have videos that help explain all of this. And then the final step, which is one of the most important ones, is KPIs. So if you don't know already, a KPI is a key performance indicator. It is a metric. It is a measurable number. And what your KPI needs to do, it needs to measure whether your campaign was successful or not. So how do we do that? Well, remember in the define stage, we talked about what's the goal of the campaign. Your KPI has to be a direct measure of that goal. Let me give you an example. If your goal is to increase sales, KPIs could be number of total sales, could be number of total sales per customer, it could be number of units sold, it could be number of transactions. These are all sales-based metrics. They are measurable. I know exactly what number it is, and I can tell if those have increased or decreased based on the time frame of the campaign being launched. Some of you might say, hey, I want social media engagements as my goal. Okay, so what could some metrics be? Could be number of followers, could be engagement rate, could be number of likes, number of comments. These are all elements and direct measures to help you measure engagement. So these are the 5 key steps to campaign development. Scope, make sure everyone's on the same page, and we clearly define why we're doing this campaign. 2, target. Who is that segment we're trying to attract with this campaign? But more importantly, what motivates them? What is their personality like? 3, theme. Now that we have our define and we have our target audience, what common catchy concept is going to bring the two together to help me fulfill my goal, but also grab the attention of my target audience? Content. What type of content am I going to create as part of this campaign? That's number 1, going to be where my target audience is. Number 2, going to help me reinforce my theme. And number 3, going to be within budget. And then number 5, KPIs. What exact metrics will I use to measure if my campaign was successful or not? All right, guys, so that's the 5 simple steps to creating an effective campaign. I hope you're able to apply them. And as you do, I hope you live happily ever after and you're profitable in doing so. Have a good one, guys. See you next video.